Well, if I look at it, it's probably made in Hawaii, is that? Oh, my reading was never wonderful, but there we are, we're going somewhere.
I don't think it's made in Hawaii.
I don't think so also.
I think Hawaii is spelled different. Hi, we're here at the Smart Energy 21 and I see a lot of shiny products on the walls. What I'm curious about is where are these products made? Because it seems to be that the renewable industry is at the moment very much dominated by one country.
China.
Canadian solar made in China, of course.
China. Our biggest trading partner, the one that used to send us students, bought our iron and lobsters. Those were the days. Hi, I'm Jono the Jono. After that experience at the 2021 Smart Energy Conference, Marcus and I thought to ourselves, just how reliant are we on the Chinese renewable energy industry? After looking at the stats, it's pretty clear how dominant of a force China really is in the renewable energy sector. So Marcus, give us the facts.
Well, as of 2022 in Australia, we have now about 3 million solar systems on roofs. When you do a quick calculation, taking commercial panels into account, that's about 80 million panels. Now about 95%, 75 million panels, they're made in China. When you take into account the cost of the panels, that's about $15 billion worth of imports in Chinese solar panels, achieving a lot of billions in Australian solar rebates. So in comparison, maybe around $100 million worth of panels were made in Australia in that period. But even those panels, they couldn't keep the Chinese influence away because their cells, their glass, their frames, in most cases, is also made in China. It's just assembled here.
So you're telling me 9 out of 10 Australians basically have a Chinese flag on their roof? I think it's time for me to learn Mandarin. Although, Chinese manufacturers in general seem to have a bad rep for making cheap, low quality, crappy, and often fake products. But is this true for solar? That's the real question. When we hear the words made in China, there is an uneasy feeling in the pit of our tummy.
And if this feeling gives you flashbacks, well then you're right, because after World War II, anybody who still remembers, in Japan, manufacturing technology boomed to such an extent that in the 60s and 70s, made in Japan equaled cheap electronics and motorbikes. You know, remember the transistor radios of this vintage? Made in Japan, people didn't expect them to last too long.
Ah, Marcus, always living in the past. Now we have trusted brands like Toyota, Lexus, Honda, Subaru, Canon, and many more, known for their incredible reliability and quality. Oh, and how could I forget the PS5, of course? Today, made in Japan is considered the upper echelon of premium goods. I mean, just look at this study showing the most respected made in labels. Not bad, Australia, we're in the top 15 list, scoring 75% in consumer perception compared to China, who doesn't even break 30%. While the Germans, of course, still rank supreme when it comes to automotives. It's a shame we're not making it ourselves.
Yes, you're right, but it wasn't always like that. About a decade ago, the Germans were really dominating the solar manufacturing worldwide. SolarWorld, Solon, Conergy, Bosch, their products dominated the Australian solar landscape. And together with local manufacturing in Homebush via BP Solar, that's where the panels came from. Hardly any Chinese in sight. But then the Chinese started their mass production drive. As someone in the Politburo would probably discovered, renewable will be the future, and renewables will allow us to influence geopolitics. So with large state subsidies in Australian technology from the University of New South Wales, sold to China, the Germans were pushed out. Conergy bankrupt, SolarWorld bankrupt, and German manufacturers all went kaput. Auf Wiedersehen!
Auf Wiedersehen!
And all of this benefited one country greatly. And guess which country that was?
China.
You know you're up against a big player when the Germans call time out. The Chinese panel manufacturers simply kept on increasing production capacity and flooded the market, which meant lower end consumer costs, and as they got Chinese government loans with no interests and the Germans had to be on the level playing field, the Germans had no chance. For the last 20 to 30 years, the West has profited from cheap Chinese labor in producing their goods. And now China is well equipped in the production line to produce its own brands at half the price. And this only means one thing for Australians, and what's that, Jono?
Cheaper solar systems, and there isn't a single person complaining about that.
China is actually saving our planet. And it's the Chinese policies which made local solar owners' energy bills go down. But no one talks about that. But back to Japan, moving from unreliable product to reliable product. When it comes to China, this perception is currently the complete opposite, with the words cheap and unreliable being a representation of many people's thoughts about made in China. They buy it, but they still don't really trust it. But in reality, China continues to innovate and now produce high quality products when it comes to solar panels, inverters, and now even home batteries. So the reality is, China right now leads the green revolution simply because of the lower costs of their products and distribution infrastructure. And as the world will need more and more renewable products to avoid a catastrophic climate change, Chinese economic power and influence will also increase due to their renewable domination. They played a smart game. We are now the boiling frogs. However, anti-Chinese sentiment still exists with a clash of different political ideologies.
Global momentum to tackle China climate change.
And the constant media bombardment on the ever-growing threat of world domination. It's no wonder Chinese reputation in the West is currently as low as it comes.
But the real question we need to be asking is, what does this mean for our renewable energy sector at a local level? Well, what it does mean is that there is a hesitation to admit that products are made in China due to a fear that it may lower the brand's reputation.
Where's that car from?
Yeah.
Come on, say the word.
China.
Undoubtedly, an overwhelming fear is associated with Chinese products. But the truth is, just because it is made in China does not mean that it comes low quality or comes with extra secret Chinese spies. It's very simple. If you buy a cheaper product, it doesn't matter where it's made. It's so much more likely to be a lower quality item. In reality, made in China comes down to a very simple fact. You pay for what you get. Just like when you buy an iPhone, you pay a premium price for a brand that is known for high quality standards and after-sales support, even though it comes with the tagline, made in China. This is the same with buying renewable tech, like solar panels, where there are also differences in price and quality. Not only has China become more effective at producing goods globally, but they have developed this just mesmerizing culture of excellence at producing quality goods. And it's so much more difficult for other nations to outcompete China. In fact, the Chinese labor technique can be encapsulated in 3 words: efficiency, dedication, and efficiency, especially when compared to other parts of the world. Here's some more fun stats for you. A whopping 89% of people in the Western world believe we should rely less on Chinese imports, yet only 14% know that their panels were in fact made in China. If people have to make a choice between buying a convenient product from Kmart or IKEA versus what they distaste for made in China, the cheaper product almost always wins out. So maybe we are just a bunch of tight-ass hypocrites. What? China is only growing as a global superpower of renewable trade and is at the point where they are now the world's largest clean energy investor. They have spent over $83 billion in 2019 alone, becoming so much more energy independent from the old dinosaur juices of the past. They are creating football fields worth of solar panels every hour. In only 10 years, they moved from producing a mere 800 megawatt to where they now produce 2,200 gigawatt. In 2015 alone, China installed more than 1 wind turbine, not every week and not every day, but every hour, every day for the entire year. China graduates above 600,000 engineers annually, whereas the US, in all its glory, graduates a mere 70,000. China is undoubtedly out-engineering the rest of the world. We all really need to ask ourselves, how are we going to catch up? How are we going to be an active contributor in the global shift towards a greener world? Think about it like this. If the renewable energy industry was a soccer game, central planning and state-sponsored industries, for example, our good old friend China, are way ahead. It's 4-0 versus the democratic capitalist dog-eat-dog players. Because at the moment, the future of energy is not green at all, it's red. We need to encourage the Western world to pioneer the green energy revolution and catch up to China. Perhaps it really isn't about which team we are on, as long as we are all on Team Planet.
Captain Planet, he's our hero.
Captain Planet. Bring back good old Captain Planet. So Marcus, let the people know, how can we all be involved in the shift to a better, greener future?
A couple of steps you can take is to purchase quality products from a reputable brand with an established office here in your local area. Don't just go with a flashy sales company. Go with a local installer and don't only decide on price, but also after-sales service and long-lasting aspects of the actual product. Consider the size of the company. How long have they been in operation, both manufacturer and installer? Check out their reviews, and most importantly, the product warranty consideration. Thanks to the World Wide Web, do your diligent research and look for these key signs to help you make the better decision. Or you can simply check out our website where we have tons of great renewable product information. Find the best quality installer in your area to get a decade-long lasting system and terrific financial returns.
Thanks for tuning in. Please leave us a comment and let us know your thoughts on the stigma of Made in China. And if you liked the video, please support us by subscribing to our channel and ring the bell. And if you disliked the video, please still subscribe, ring the bell and tell us how we can improve. Until next time, thank you.
Want more energy answered? Visit yourenergyanswers.com for quality energy products, tools and calculators, and find your quality local installers. Please support the channel by liking the video, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell, and check out all our other videos. You're still here? I'll see you next time. Bye.